Oh, we went live. We're live anyways there. Okay, without the music, without the startup. Okay,
All right.
so we are live and we're broadcasting today. Let me see, we're broadcasting via LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch. Yeah, so I'm grateful to be here today. We have Coach Jim, Teacher Jim, all the way from Tucson, Arizona. We've got Coach Santos here, founder of the Soldiers of Self-Mastery Movement since 2016. We're getting started here with our 45-minute or so podcast. All gamblers welcome Your Solution Live. All gamblers welcome Your Solution Live. So I'm inviting you all the way from LinkedIn, from YouTube, from Twitch to come in, join us, interact. If you are interested in wanting to stay motivated today, you're wanting to stay motivated for the rest of the week, and you feel like a failure. I feel like a failure, but I'm here. It's all right, because that's our topic tonight, the fear of failure. We're going to talk about this, episode 370. I'm going to do my best to stay focused. I believe I have a proverb, and then we've got a call to action. So I'm asking you to turn down all distractions, get in, buckle up, remove all distractions, buckle up, and grab a pen so that you can take some P.O.I. We are good to go here. Give me just a minute, and we are live. Go ahead, Jim. I got to take a phone call real quick here. Let me get out of this. The music's
So
good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you're talking about the fear of failure, feeling like a failure. That kind of brings back the idea that the administrator gave to me, and that idea is called the deficit mindset. When a lot of negativity goes into our mind, when you're thinking bad thoughts, when we're afraid, when we're panicking, our body goes into the flight zone. It's the deficit mindset where we do whatever we can to kind of survive, just to survive. And I don't know what's going on in people's minds when they're trying to survive. People survive in their own way, whether it be blame or anger or crying, running away, blowing
constantly
up.
constantly running though. Constantly running away,
Mhm.
is you're afraid of something, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Beating yourself up too, beating yourself up, saying very
or beating
negative.
yourself down. Actually,
Yeah, beating
I say
yourself down.
if you're gonna do that, we do beat ourselves. Why not beat yourself up instead of down? Anyways, but you're saying,
But yeah, I mean, the negative self-talk, that's a way of being in the deficit mindset, right? I guess you can blame yourself. That's something right there with a deficit mindset. Being in that zone of failure. Now, I mean, like, look, uh, I was thinking about the paradox of peace and growth. You know, if you go ahead and struggle for growth, you have to put yourself through a lot of discomfort. You got to put yourself through a lot of pain. You got to go ahead and put yourself through a lot of pressure if you want to grow. I
mm-hmm.
mean, and in that case, it's not very peaceful when you put yourself in that vulnerable position where you risk, you know, every day you put yourself in a situation where you can go ahead and fall over, mess up, trip, fall. Um, no one wants to go ahead and look stupid. No one
Yeah.
wants to go stupid in front of themselves. You know what I mean? I think that's probably one of the biggest things where, we see ourselves,
Now, now, yeah. Now, but the fear of failure. Let's see the fear. What is the meaning of the fear of failure? What is that? Is that cliche? we hear that all the time. I don't think that I honestly completely understand what that really means, the fear of failure.
I think you can go take it two ways. Okay, there's some people who fear failure and they go ahead and go balls to the walls at trying to achieve because they don't want to be a failure in their own eyes, in other people's eyes. So they just go and push, push, push. Okay. Then you have the other side where they're afraid of failing, so that they say, nope, I'm going to get into the deficit mindset and I'm going to go out and just camp out in the comfort zone. I'm going to camp out in the comfort zone. I'm not going to go ahead and put myself into any situation where I'm going to go and risk looking stupid in front of other people, looking stupid in front of myself, risking my time, risking my effort.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that that people can go and think of. Two ways of going about it: fear of failure, meaning to say I don't want to fail, so I'm going to go and push myself to go and achieve, achieve, achieve. I'm going to go beyond what's normal to make sure I don't fail. Okay.
Where now, but when you're failing, right? The fear of failure. When does the fear of failure usually begin to hang around you? When does the fear of failure begin to hang around you? When does it begin? Does it begin to hang around you when you're having success? Does the fear of failure hang around you when you're having success? Does the fear of failure have hang around you when you're failing? When you're failing, right? You tried to quit gambling, or you tried to quit something, whatever it was.
Well, I mean, like,
And so what does the fear of failure, what is really holding people, what is really holding you back?
I think it's the imagination. I think it's the imagination and prior experiences and what you focus on. You imagine all those times where you go and tried and you screwed up, and that plants a seed in the mind where you say, you know what, you're going to try that again. You're going to try to get off your addiction. You're going to try to get off gambling. You got to be kidding me. It's like, you're not going to go and do it, you know, and then you say, oh yeah, yeah, I don't want to go there. I'm afraid I'm going to go and mess up again. So, and that mess up mean to say that it's like, I think the biggest problem is seeing yourself as a failure. I mean, the effort, everyone says, you need to go and try, at least put in the effort, attempt, right? Then you can go ahead and call yourself not a failure. But, when you see yourself falling down, messing up again, it just plants a seed in the mind, if you take it that way, as a failure, and that's just very painful. I think we talked about this before. It's like, it's very, very difficult for ourselves to look at ourselves, you
Yeah,
know.
we're never a failure. We're never a failure is an event. Failure is an event. It's not a person. Yet we make failure a person. We make it very personal,
Sure.
uh, almost like another uh, partner or something.
And I mean, it's very, very difficult not to compare yourself against the world, against everyone else, people, what success looks like, what does it look like, and you go ahead and have that constant comparison, between
Yeah,
what.
because that's important what you just said, because you see, just as well as I'm failing, right? Just as well as you're failing, well, they're failing too.
But our attention is not on those people who are failing. Our attention is all the glitz and the glamour and at the top of the mountain, the gold medals,
Yeah, we're focused on the wall of we're on the wrong wall. We're looking on the wrong wall.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
when
it's like I said, that the struggle is like, it's a paradox because you have to go through the pain, you have to go through the struggle, you have to
yeah,
go through the discomfort in
there's a
order to
rough
get to that
patch.
point.
There,
That's
what's really very strange, and sadly, a lot of people are going to run from this. It's when you begin to question your existence, when even though if you feel like you had some success in your life, you're going to fail. You're going to fail, and everybody's different. Our anatomy's different. Our map, how we see things, how Jim sees things is totally different than the way Santos. Sometimes we can see almost close to what it is, but every experience is very personal.
Mhm.
So, um, you know, the fear of failure, everybody fails. And the thing is, the fear of failure really kicks in, I believe, the most when you're failing, when you're not doing as well as you think you can be, right? And it gets really dark when you go inside, when you start asking questions, when you start challenging your experiences, you start challenging people, or you start challenging your experiences or your own person, you, right? Yourself. You just said a few minutes ago, that's a rough patch that we have to be able to go through in order to get ahead. That's a rough patch that you have to go through in order to overcome that thing that you feel you need to overcome. If you're not overcoming it, it's because you really haven't made up your mind, and that thing is really not that important to you.
I
So
think
maybe it's there for a reason, right? If something's there, maybe it's not that healthy for you, but you're not really willing to give it up. Well, what is it there for? Is it there? Why is it there, right? Anything that you begin to question, and again, it's like gambling. By the way, gambling is a big fat lie. And welcome, Laura. Good evening to you. If you don't question gambling, it's because you're not ready to walk away from it. You may end up getting forced to challenge your gambling addiction and habit, or question yourself, right? Why are you doing this? Sometimes you can end up in the hospital, an accident happens, or when the some weird thing where you have time to really reflect on yourself. Could be an act of God. But the fear of failure is, I to me, I don't completely understand it. And maybe um I don't know. I just there's the fear of success or the fear of failure. You just have to keep the key. Again, the key is, it's a cloud, and even though when you feel it, it might be hanging over you.
Mhm.
You got to keep going.
I think
You got to
think
keep going somehow. You got to keep planting. You got to keep analyzing, and you got to keep looking for the way out. You got to keep. Well, I failed. I've been failing. Well, you can either put on that fear of failure mentality, or you can fight it and keep going. The only way that you're going to fight it is with the proper support, though. You got to have the right tools. You got to have the right support. You got to have not just your brain power. You may have the need the brain power of somebody else. Collaboration.
yeah, these rough patches are moments, and we have to go out and be tougher than the moment. The moment does not feel good at that time. It's just awful. I mean, it feels awful when that moment, when you mess up, when you screw up, when you get hit by a sidewinder.
Oh,
It's awful. And I guess what you can go ahead and just pull from that situation is, you've been here before, doesn't feel good. Time always kind of makes it better. So you just have to endure the moment. And like you said, we need to have tools available, like meditating and prayer, close your eyes, have a moment of silence and say, God, give me strength. Give me strength to go ahead and get through this rough patch. I want
yep.
to get through this rough patch. I'm having trouble right now. I'm going
I'm
to get
going to get through this rough patch. I'm going
right.
to get through this rough patch. I'm
And you,
going to
you
get
gotta
through this patch.
you gotta say it. You gotta go and stick to your guns.
I'm
In
going to
that,
get through this.
yes, admit that you're going through a rough patch. Admit to yourself that this feels horrible. This feels awful. and I'm feeling very bad about myself. you know I'm comparing myself. You just say this kind of stuff, you put it out there, and hopefully when you go ahead and say it, you try to go ahead and maybe kind of push back against it. It's like, why am I beating myself up? Should I beat myself up? Is it right for me to beat myself up? Do I have another choice? Right? I'm going through a rough time in my life right now, and I don't feel good. Um, I'm calling myself a lot of bad things. I'm comparing myself to a lot of people. I'm drawing on every single negative situation. I'm letting other people down. I'm letting myself down. I wish I was dead, right? My life is worthless. That kind of
Yeah,
talk,
the
right?
self-talk, self-talk goes in reverse, starts going backwards, like you're
And then, it's like once you get into that, you start saying it, you start kind of like putting some space between these dark thoughts and your thinking, right? And you think, okay, well, this is a deficit mindset. Do I have a choice in this? Am I actually moving into the comfort zone to go ahead and talk badly about myself? Is that a defense mechanism to go and talk badly about myself? Am I trying to go ahead and justify an excuse not to push forward and fight? Because it feels so good to just put myself down and say, you know what? I'm not, I'm just a worthless human being, so why even try? Well, that feels pretty comfortable right there. Instead of, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and fight. I'm going to go ahead and stop, take a deep breath. I'm going to go and take a walk. I'm going to go and
Mhm.
regroup, get something to eat. I'm going to get some rest. I'm going to breathe, I'm going to journal.
I'm gonna read.
That's another way of thinking. That's another way of looking at the situation. Yes, you can acknowledge you're going through a bad time. You can acknowledge you screwed up. You messed up royally, big time. Okay.
Yep.
You can also say that, you know what, I'm a mistake maker, I'm a mistake breaker. I made a
or
mistake.
or you just or Jim, you don't even have to be making mistakes necessarily to feel failure, to feel that cloud. You don't have to be. You could be doing pretty good, you could be doing okay, right?
Yeah.
Yet that thought, the fear of failure, begins to hang around. And again, um, what do you do? Do you focus? There's an FT. Could fear of failure be an FT, a focus thief? Because that fear of failure is there for you to focus on it, and it's going to do something to you. If you focus on that fear of failure, it's going to, whatever it is going to do to you. I don't know what it's going to do to you. Everybody's different, right? Laura, Mark, Jim, myself, we're all different. It's not going to do the same thing. The fear of failure, I could be catastrophic. You're doing good, yet all of a sudden now you're just going to give up on yourself because the fear of failure thing comes around. That thought begins to haunt you.
Yeah.
um Let me
Yeah. I
read
mean, you
something.
can go and talk about like race.
Yeah,
So
let me. In fact, I want to read something. Race just posted something on one of my videos. He should be here. Oh, there he is. He just pops up. Isn't that something? I have Race on my feed, on my YouTube video, not here because you just came in. Welcome. But it says, I do it each time I win $40 to $80. I feel like I can keep doing it every day. There, I feel like I can keep doing it every day. Right there, therein lies the big deception. Right there. I feel like I can keep doing it every day. I feel. Now, you wrote this. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by what you're writing here, but when I'm reading it, it's giving a message, and I'm thinking, I feel like I can keep doing it every day. It used to be a thought that I had, and turn it into a job. Sadly, I always lose and get dragged down deeper into the pit each time. Gambling's a lie, folks. Gambling's a lie. And I guess this is the demilitarized zone right here, just temporarily, the soldiers of self mastery community. We are talking about the fear of failure. So it's black or white. You're either in or out. And everybody's on a journey. It doesn't have to be gambling that you're struggling with. Your gambling can be something other than gambling, because in actuality, it really is. Your gambling is not the issue, right? That's just an extension. That's a byproduct of the sin that is inside you. There's this darkness, there's a shadow, there's something inside there, deep down inside, and that it's like a and it shows up. The byproduct is the gamble, the slot machine, the drac room, the roulette table, sitting on the palm tree, on your wick chair, right? Sitting on top of a palm tree on your wick chair, paying the bookies to watch horses run backwards. Santos, that doesn't happen. Oh, it does. Oh, it does. In fact, people bet on roosters and they bet on animals too, even turtles. I don't know if I could hang around for a turtle to win a race, but they bet on that kind of stuff too. And I mean, could you go broke betting on turtles? It might take a long time on that kind of stuff. Anyhow, uh, uh, but in all honesty, anyways, we are 22 minutes into the program. I have a proverb I want to read, and then we're going to get back. I'd like to entertain your question if you have one. We're going to do our best tonight to stay motivated, yet we're also going to state the fact that we're all failing somewhere. We're all failing, and it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. It's not okay to stay there. It's not okay to stay failing for 6 months or a year or 2 years, unless that's what you see is your journey. Because if that's what you see as your journey, then you will continue to fail over and over and over. That's what you see as your journey. You don't see any other vision. You don't see any other direction. You don't have any other motivation, any other support from anywhere else. That's what you see. And you're focused on that. So you're going to drive that way like a vehicle. Let me get to the proverb. So that was race. I'm glad you're here, by the way. I got to take a look at the text real quick. Jim, I'll give you let me get this proverb, today's proverb out of the way. I do a proverb every Sunday and Wednesday. This is Psalm 42:8. It says, "Yet the Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and in the night his song shall be with me, and my prayer unto the God of my life." I'll tell you, um, I'll say this again. Yet the Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and in the night his song shall be with me, and my prayer unto the God of my life. I honestly believe that if it wasn't for Christ, if it wasn't for God, I probably wouldn't be here doing this podcast. I have this funny feeling that that is true. It comforts me, and yet it's also a mystery to me. Uh, all right, Barry Rob. I keep saying Barry Bob. Go ahead, Jim. Let me see. Let's see if I have a question. You got a thought there?
Yeah, I think
It's good that
I
I
think
see.
we have to go out and realize that the only way out of our problems is to accept that we have to. I guess you can say surrender to the idea of hard work. You got to go ahead and put work into anything that has value, right? And if you value sobriety, if you value being free of an addiction, you got to go ahead and commit to and put in the hard work and accept, even embrace the idea that you're going to go ahead and go through a lot of discomfort. You're going to go ahead and go through a lot of trying times. I mean, for an alcoholic, right? You have to accept that you're going to go and feel awful without that drink. For drugs, same thing. You know, I mean, it's like it's a chemical addiction, right? Dopamine, chemical addiction, right? We're addicted to good feelings, comfort feelings, right? And we have
We
to associate those comfort feelings as a road to a dead end. The misery, the crying, right? The feeling of loss. I mean, those times when you're screaming, I guess, when you're on your way home, and let's say you
What's
lose
one
all
way?
your.
What's one way that we can do that, Jim? What's
I
one
mean,
way
you got to
that
go
we
and ride it out. You got to go ahead and imagine, okay, this is what I'm going to be going through, right? This is the road ahead of me, okay? You have to go and say, am I willing to go ahead and do this? Okay, you need support like a coach, right? Have a coach stand beside you and say, you know what, and give me encouragement, give me some direction,
hey,
give me strategies.
anybody know a coach?
Yeah,
Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, you need to go ahead and look at this. I mean, who is it? It was Barry Robb talking about, or no, Race was talking about gamblers surround themselves with other gamblers. Okay,
Hmm.
you have to go ahead and set yourself alongside, people who will squeeze that nonsense out of your system. I mean, instead of going and hanging around those individuals who keep you in the muck, right? You go ahead and hang around people who demand excellence from you, right? Excellence. It might feel uncomfortable. It's like, oh, those people are so much better than me, so much better than me. What would they say about me? It's like I'm not good like them, right? You got to go ahead and be like, you got to hang around those kinds of people who are moving in the direction that you want to go. You can't hang around the same kind of people that took you into the mess. So, I mean, yeah. And that's painful, right? It takes work. It takes work. It takes a new mindset. It takes a different
Yeah.
attitude, right? That I have to endure a lot of discomfort if I want to get to a better place. And you
Well,
have to
yeah.
keep saying, I
We,
have to
we,
go,
ha-
go through
we
this.
have to endure the rough patch because everything else gets easier after that.
Mhm. And
And the
that's the
rough patch can
imagination.
be very short, right? The rough patch can be very short in order for you to step into transition. Uh, what's up, Kevin? I want to offer something though. To I know that I've been sharing this real quick because we're about the halfway point here. And again, if you feel supported in some way, maybe you have a situation going on, right? Maybe you are trying to start a business or something. Maybe it has nothing to do with gambling. If you reach out to me, and I'm speaking to you, whoever you are, I'm going to do this as a compliment, just complimentary. There's no fee involved here. You have an issue, you've got something going on. Maybe it's a business or something, or some other something that you've got going on. It has nothing to do with gambling. You need a partner to brainstorm with about that idea. There's something that you need to clarify. There's something that you need a confirmation with. If you go to soldiersofselfmastery.com, I'll give you 45 minutes of my time and you can challenge me with that thing. And again, I'm not going to make any guarantees, but I believe that I can brainstorm with you and we can come up with an idea to help you move forward. I'm saying that to one person. It might be two people, but again, I'm not going to take a whole flock here because that's not going to happen. 45 minutes, mano a mano, we video, Zoom, however we do it, and we focus in on your goal. And hopefully, maybe I can add a pebble or a brick or a step for you, completely free of charge. just for being part of Soldiers of Self-Mastery. I'm doing that this month here, whatever's left of this month. So if you feel it in your heart, contact me below. Say, Santos, I got a time. I've got a goal. I've got this idea. I've got a question for you. I don't want to bring it out in the open. I feel that I can trust you. We can talk about it. It stays with you, right? You're like Las Vegas. Whatever's done in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. I'm just kidding about the Las Vegas thing, but about the coaching, it stays with you and I. So I just wanted to throw that out to somebody. And again, I do provide coaching for gamblers that are struggling. As you know, you're doing very well in other areas of your life, yet you're struggling with gambling, and you know that you may need a coach. I offer support for that also. Hour sessions, monthly coaching sessions, once a week type thing where I can help you achieve that goal if that is your desire. So remember to comment, like, and share. I'm going to do my best to continue through my mistakes, through my failures, through my mishaps. Sometimes I even forget my notes, and I go off in a tangent or on a rant of some kind. Probably they're not too bad. So I leave that with you. And once again, this is episode number 370, Your Solution Live. All gamblers welcome. Gambling is a big, fat lie. I'm looking for a question or two. So if you have it, that's great. If not, we've got another 15 minutes or so left to the broadcast, 20 minutes. I think we started a few minutes late. Yeah. Go ahead, Jim. You got something on your mind? Mark says call.
Yeah, congratulations to Kevin for being 3 months sober. That's great.
On your continued progress. Yes. Continued progress. Congratulations on your continued progress. Yes. Kevin. And if you want to share how you're doing it, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear. Maybe it's one life hack. Maybe it's two. Who knows? Maybe you might be a part of Gamblers Anonymous somewhere. Share it. Share it. Let us know. You've been doing good for 90 days or so. I'm not sure what this is. Yellow first, red fish, turquoise face. Okay. So, and also support this mission. If you feel that you can, support the mission. A donation goes a long way here to support the mission. Small or big, what have you. Well, thank you, guys. Go ahead. Jim, did you have something? Okay. Kevin says, I hope to be on. What does he say? I hope to be on the same train you're on, the no gambling zone train. You're on. You're in it. You're in it. This is training day. You're in it. Go ahead, Jim. I see the wheels turning a little bit there. You got something? Got a thought?
Yeah.
I'm
think
looking
about
for
this one book by the author James Clear. He wrote a book called Atomic Habits. I mean, if you want to become something, don't focus on, what that is. Just focus on doing the things what you want to become. What does a non-gambler do? What does a non-gambler do? Do those things. Non-gambler, gets coaching. I do these certain things. I journal. I'm a journaler. I watch videos.
I want to say that. Mm-hmm. Oh man, what in the world I do there? I don't want to knock coaching, but I do want to lift it up a little bit more because I don't talk. I share about coaching. I don't really bring it up a lot. I don't talk a lot about it, but I am bringing it up more and more because I see the need for it. I see the need that people need to be at least once a week. It doesn't have to be for the rest of your life, right? Could be for a week, 2 weeks. I imagine it's going to be more than a couple of weeks where you need to be with somebody that is outside, that has actually made it through all of this rough patches and hurdles and shit. because that person will actually help you get there faster. So again, coaching, I have coaches, I have counselors in my life. Sometimes I got to bring them back. I'm going through, another, whatever it is. I got to get through this. I don't know how to get through this. I need an answer. Uh, who knows? I may be depressed and might not even understand it. You could be severely depressed and work and go through your emotions just like anybody else. So, understanding these things, understanding the fear of failure. And I'm not afraid to admit, that in this life, you're going to, like Jim said, we have, you're not going to suffer forever, but you're going to go through some things. And unfortunately, the world is full of suffering. So just when you think your suffering is over, you might enter some more suffering. And that's a time for you to really not retract, but it's a time for you to look at what you have as resources, what you have as finances, because even your finances can help you get out of some of that too. Well, how does that work? Well, a coach doesn't work for free. I've tried doing free things. I've tried it. It doesn't work that well. Sometimes it does. It really depends on the people. So what you put value on is what you put value on. If you pay for a lesson, if you pay $60 for a lesson or $100 for a lesson or $500 for a lesson, you're obviously going to pay more attention if you paid the $500. But either way, if you paid 60, you're going to pay more attention than if you got it for free. So I'm here to support you. If you're struggling deep down inside and you really don't have anybody and you feel alone and you feel like you can't do it, but you want to do it, I'm here for you. I'm the coach that you need to reach out to because I know for a fact that I can help you on the other side. For a fact. That's not, now again, the stipulation is we both have to work together, right? If I'm coaching you, I can give you some really good insights and help you see yourself from a higher perspective than you've ever seen yourself. Imagine the ability to sit with somebody and sit and see yourself from a high point that you've never seen yourself before. You've never seen yourself from that point. You've always seen yourself from down here. See, that's the power of a coach. But it has to be personal. It has to be deep, and there has to be some serious connection there. In other words, there has to be work involved. That's what coaching is really for. Coaching is not, a spill your beans session, even though it kind of is. It really isn't. Right? That's what your journal's for. That's what um, other prayers are for. Um, Coaching is really meant to help you develop the best and even strengthen your weaknesses too. Not just your strengths, but your weaknesses also. Because your weaknesses can be a gift to you. Never thought of it that way, but that is the truth. You may be focusing on all your strengths, but what about your weaknesses? What about there's something in your weakness that you can develop and make something marvelous out of it? Anyhow, that is about coaching. That's what I offer. So I will be bringing it up. Thank you for bringing it up, Jim. Moment to moment. Okay, so we're coming down here. We're coming down to the wire. I'm looking for a question. Jim, you had a thought? You had another thought?
Yeah, and I was thinking about what you're saying. You try to go ahead and figure out how you put the odds in your favor, right? What is it? The casino has the odds stacked in their favor, right? And you see the results. You see the results of having those odds in their favor. Why don't you start thinking about how you can go and stack the odds in your favor? Coaching, that's one thing. Watching videos, another thing, right? Hanging around the right people, another thing. Right? Journaling, another deal, right there. Now we start directing our focus towards a better direction. You know, we take our eyes and we're starting looking to the light instead of being distracted by all the nonsense, right? Um, it's like, a good idea can go and inspire another good idea and another good idea and another good idea, right? I mean, that's where we want to go. And all these good ideas are stacking the odds in our favor. Yeah, it's like you could lose, you could have a relapse, you could, fall down. But if you keep on stacking the odds in your favor, right? You keep on coming to these live sessions, you get the coaching, you stick with the coaching, right? You keep on journaling, you don't stop, right? Yeah, sometimes you might fail, but I tell you what, you keep on pounding, pounding, pounding away, eventually you're going to go ahead and beat this thing. But it does take time. It does take that vision, that imagination. That yes, I understand that I'm going to go ahead and go through some discomfort. I understand that it's going to be tough. I understand it's going to go ahead and take a lot of work. But I can go and imagine a better life. I can visualize a better life. I can visualize financial peace. I can envision a healthier body. I can envision, a better place in 30 years, right? 10 years, 15, whatever it is. I can imagine that. And you know what? When you see that, you know, I'm willing to go ahead and go through that tough work, that effort, you know, putting the odds in your favor, right? Well, how can I put the odds in my favor, right? If you want to go and talk about gambling, let's go and turn the tables. How does a casino put the odds in their favor, right? Oh yeah, you're not the only one who can play this game, casino. I can go ahead and put some of the odds in my favor. You know?
They have meetings. The
Yeah.
casino, they have meetings. They have communities.
Mm-hmm.
They have coaches. They have consultants.
Right.
Casinos actually pay coaches. They have coaches. They have their own coaches. They have their own consultants. They pay them a lot of money too to change the software and the machines, to change the operation of the roulette table and how the card tables work, all of that stuff. So it's interesting. I don't know why I'm bringing up coaching so much. Maybe it's because I use it, and I know that um, there are some things that I would love to be able to pay for coaching, but I don't know if God will ever open those doors for me, because there are programs that you can pay for and you can accelerate your education by leaps and bounds in just a matter of weeks. Uh, but anyways, oh, thank you for Kevin. Appreciate the uh, the giving here. Thank you. So, did I get off track there? I think I did, didn't I? Anyhow, appreciate that. Appreciate the donation. You were saying, Jim, we started talking about. I started slipping back into coaching again.
So I
About
mean, I think it's important that we have to also. I mean, we're talking about tools. We're talking about strategies, putting the odds in our favor. The mindset is, we have to pay attention to the details. The better life is found in paying attention to the details. If we don't pay attention to the details, we get distracted. We
yeah,
dismiss the opportunities. The great the I mean the keys. The details, when we pay attention, can be the key that unlocks the door for us to go ahead and move forward, towards the direction we want to go, the details. And
yeah.
it starts
One of
with
the
stopping
details.
the distractions. I mean, we got the YouTube, we got other people, we have this constant stream of distractions. I was in class, the kids were just they're going crazy because there was a spider, going across the floor. It's like, students, you know, that's a good example of what the world is trying to do. Take your mind off of what is important. You know,
Mhm.
you got to go and condition your mind to go ahead and figure out, this is where I need to focus. And I need to go ahead and shove aside, be intentional about what do I need to go and focus on. Turn off all the distractions. Go for a walk. on your own in nature and start thinking about your life, thinking about yourself, and thinking about, how can I go and put the odds in my favor? What can I do? Stupid distractions are keeping us in that pit of the comfort
Yeah.
zone, you
Yeah.
know, and the attention to details, I tell you, if we just go ahead and, you know, have that a change of identity, instead of saying that, I'll never get out of this, we have to go out and say, you know what, I have a choice. I believe I have a choice and I can go and choose better. I can choose better to think about myself. I can go and choose better at the way I talk to myself. I can go out and choose better at comparing. Who do I compare? Do I compare myself to other people or who I was yesterday? You
Yeah.
know, I don't have to focus on these distractions, constant comparisons. Oh, you're a loser compared to that guy or that person right over there. No, right? I can go and choose. I have the choice. You know, all these things we want to go and put the odds in our favor, right? And it's a choice. It takes effort. It takes work. These kinds of thoughts. It doesn't come for free, right? We got to go and put some effort into it. It's a
Yeah.
choice. I think it's just it starts with the imagination. I see a better place. I see a better place, and I believe I can get there. It's that
Even
that
if you feel like a failure too. Even if you feel like a failure, because typically your emotions will follow what you do. So you might have that emotion of feeling like a failure, right? Keep going. Keep going. Eventually the fear of failure or the thought of failure, that cloud, it it just goes away. If the winds come, the north winds come and it blows it away. No,
when we
the north winds come and it blows the cloud
when we
of
have
fear of
that
failure.
thought, when we have that idea of
You
this
got
is
to keep going through it. Yeah. In other words, don't you should pay attention to your emotions. You should. But when it comes to that fear of failure, you shouldn't really pay too much unless it's very very something, unless it's trying to tell you something important and you're not listening, then you can get decapitated. But you got to keep going forward even with that feeling. And that's what I tell myself too. But the more that sometimes you feel the fear of failure or that cloud coming over you, you press into the things that are going to help you navigate through it all. Sometimes you can't just get away from something that easily. There are resources that you can use to navigate through it and get to the other side if you have to, because it's a constant thing, right? Suffering is a constant. Joy is not a constant thing. I might have joy, happiness for a little bit, and then you have it throughout the day, and then some sorrow, and it's up and down and suffering, and then there's victory. You make a sale, you get a paycheck, you earn a living, you committed a service to somebody, a product, and it's all good. And then again, we need to be reading, we need to be journaling, we need to be praying, we need to be studying, we should be gathering together with others of like mind so that we can stay at least energized. That's my call to action, by the way. That is my call to action. Go ahead, Jim, with your last thoughts, and then I'll close. We're going to be closing. I'm looking for a question or two. I appreciate the interaction.
yeah the
Race, Kevin, Mark, Laura, Rob,
yeah I mean, like,
Race. Yeah.
there's so many problems that you can go and imagine. You can go and imagine, I mean, I think about like your channel or anyone else's YouTube channel, right? There's going to be haters. There's going to be people who don't like what you say. They're going to criticize you. I mean, and if you really think about it, it's like we don't have any power over these people, these haters. It's like they're going to be there, and it is a waste of time and a waste of energy to go and be worrying about what all these haters have to say. You see, They're always going to be there, you know. The big question is, how do I respond to the way I think about these things? How do I respond? You know, I have power over how I respond, how I think, you know, and worrying about everyone else, worrying and comparing, you know, about what could have been, what should have been, you know, what did I lose, you know. I mean, there's like you can go on and go for an infinite number of bad things that you can go and think about. Fires that you're trying to put out, you know, trying to go ahead and like anticipate all these problems that could arise. Imagination can be brutal, right? It can go ahead and give you paralysis, right?
Yeah.
But understand that, you know what? You can go and say, hey, if you're religious, God's in control. I'm just going to go ahead and do my best, move forward. Whatever happens, I'm going to go ahead and have that peace of mind, knowing that, you know, I just go ahead and keep on doing the right thing. You know, whatever happens, it happens, you know, but I'm going to go ahead and keep on doing the right thing, whatever the right thing is, right? And yeah, there's so many demons that can go and come into our imagination. We have to go out and be aware, conscious, mindful that we have power over these demons, right? We can go and say, you know, I don't believe it, or God take these demons away, you know, I'm not accepting these thoughts, these negative thoughts, these fears, you know, these concocted failures, imagined failures in my mind, the way I perceive myself, you know. If we just take a few moments to go ahead and stop and think, you know what, I have a choice. I don't have to accept this nonsense. This is the deficit mindset. And I'm not going to go ahead and live in this deficit mindset. Yes, I'm going through a challenge. Yes, you know, you know, I, I'm struggling right now, but you know, I'm not going to stay in here forever. You know, I'm going to move through this. I'm going to go ahead and get through this. So yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
stepping back and understand that we have a choice, and coming to this program, watching videos, you're always gathering tools. You want to go and pay attention to the details, listen, take notes. I mean, I remember one, you know, I think there's that one lady who said count to 10 or something like that. I was thinking count to three, 1, 2, 3, go. All right. You don't think about it. You count it and then you take action. 1, 2, 3, get up, go, you know? I mean, the mind likes to dwell in nonsense. But if you have like a strategy, like a tool, it's like 1, 2, 3, get up, go. All right, do this, do that. Then you start gaining the momentum to go ahead and start moving in the right direction instead of like stewing in all this paralysis of negativity.
Mhm.
Right? That's my strategy. Simple thing. 1, 2, 3, go. You know, 1, 2, 3, go. Get up. You know, let's go. Let's move. You know, take a deep breath and go, right? So it's the strategies, you know, paying attention to details. Hopefully everyone's taking notes, you know, good ideas can go and unlock doors, you know, to where we want to go.
All right, folks. With that said, this is Santos all the way from, I was going to say Tucson, Arizona, but and then Jim's all the way in Stockton. No, it's the other way around. We've come to the end of the broadcast. We're going to be back here. I thank you. There's quite a bit of people here tonight, so I thank you. Twitch, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I don't know where the rest of you are out there. You're welcome to again be a part of this mission. Subscribe to the channel. We're here on Wednesdays, most of the time on Wednesdays, Sundays, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for sure. My last question is to all of you, right? All of you watching there, and those that will watch this broadcast after it's already uploaded. Um, what is the question? The two wishes. If you had two wishes, which wish, if you had two wishes that could be actually wished upon, uh, which wish would be your first one? Think about it. Use your imagination. So we'll be back here again. Subscribe, share, comment, leave a thumbs up. And if you can support this mission financially, please support the mission financially. We'll see you at the top. Will I see you at the top? on my next one. Jim?
Thanks, Santos. You have a great week. I'll see you on Sunday, okay?
You too. Be safe out there.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, everyone.